My name is Sano Masua. I'm a Baka from Maridi, and I want to run for the chairmanship of the South Sudanese community because since getting to Maine, and I'll be 9 years in May here in Maine, I have not seen. I've seen a lot of other Africans progressing. Say, for example, you take a Rwandese or a Burundi or Nyamulenge, Congolese, Angolans. They come 2 months later, they're already staying in a Vesta house. And in real life, the waiting period is at least 5 years. So you wonder, how do they get this quick? Which means somebody from the community is serving them. And I'm here, I would like to lay my life down to also avail this kind of services to the people of South Sudanese community in Maine. I have a vast background in working with people. As a student in the University of Sudan in Khartoum, I used to work for British Council. My job was, well, it varies from one category to another. I'll just take the most important ones. I was the chairperson, I was the desk manager for Women in Development, which means I was responsible for taking Sudanese women to go and study in the UK under my supervision. And then I became as an accountant for the same agency. And then I got, of course, in trouble with the government, and then I fled to Egypt. In Egypt, I became the country representative of a small British organization that was serving South Sudanese in Egypt. And my job was to make sure that students who were there in Egypt and they did not have working experience, my job was to make sure that, first of all, I collect data about them, and then I interview them, and then have what they call placement. I place them on we have a program called attachment. Attachment means I get a South Sudanese student, well, after graduation, of course, they work with an Egyptian company, and then my company pays for it. And the reason was to make sure that South Sudanese acquire working experience in offices, such that when peace comes, they will be able to go back to South Sudan and manage the country. That's one. Number two, I was during my tenure in office, before I finally decided to come to the US, I placed at 20 South Sudanese in Egypt, so they were working in Cairo, and I sent 10 of them who were willing to go to work in South Sudan during the struggle. So 10 of those, the 20 they were still in Egypt, and another 10 went to Nairobi, and then they worked with UNICEF. There's a guy whose name is Abraham, who's a doctor. So they went under that program. Having worked with South Sudanese in that capacity, and making them to become people of their own and managing a country, so I feel I have the ability and the capability of serving and uniting, leading South Sudanese community in order to make bigger things, such as I don't see or I don't feel as if other African countries are better than South Sudan. I'll give you an example. Somalia, for example, they have many agencies. South Sudanese have got 0. Congolese, they have companies. South Sudan has maybe 1 or 2. Are they better than us? I don't think so. So I feel that I have the skills, I have the capability, and I have the people's personnel to come to talk to people and unite them, and then we can achieve a goal that I think will help all of us. I am the best candidate because I feel that I'm exposed. I'm exposed in, from my educational, I was in Britain, where I went and did my, they call it high diploma in accounting from the University of Oxford. Let alone that one. Let alone that I worked in Dubai, I worked in Egypt, I worked in other countries. So I have a lot, like, in me alone, I have a diversity in myself. That's number two. I'm very good at writing proposals. I have seen South Sudanese Community is a non-profit organization, and we have so many agencies that I know of, and that motivated me to run, that we can approach them and they can give us money, and that money in turn we can do a couple of things. Number one, we can rent a place and have what they call after school program, and agree with the schools, so that the school bus will drop the kids at this certain location, so that our children can go there for tutoring, and then their parents can come and take them from that place. That's one. That's with the children. Number two, we don't have a center like South Sudanese Center or South Sudanese Community Center in Maine. Why? And if we are going to have an event, we have to take either Guildhall or go to Jewish or go to Somalian. Why? We can have our own place, and in our own place, our events can be done there, and like, basically we can take a pride, and then we can invent, because just take a look at South Sudan itself, where there are 64 different tribes, which means there are 64 different great rich culture that we will have to they have independence in South Sudan. We can have a cultural day here, and that cultural day we can invite people to come and see how we live, what is our culture, and then people come in rows. This is how these people they eat, this is their food, this is their dances. So we don't have that one here, and I'm sure that not too many white people, they know Sudanese. We're warriors, we are fighters, we are tall, we are black, we are all negative. I want to reverse that in the eyes of Mainers. And it will start from Maine, and it will transcend to the whole country and to the entire world. Because worldwide, people know us, we are tall, we are black, almost blue, and we're warriors. But I want to change that whole dynamics. It takes only one brain and one step, and the rest will follow. That's one. Number two, just in case I didn't win, I am prepared to concede to whosoever wins, and if they need my assistance, I will be there to help them, because for me, it is not personal. It is a community, and I have this all rich knowledge and experience that I have. And the person who would win, if they don't have the experience, I would not feel jealous. Instead, I will help them.